Okay. You want to go first?
Sure. So, for my English notebook, I think I deserve like a 2.5, like a B minus or a C plus, because I have been having a lot of gaps and inconsistencies in my notes. I I only put stuff in when it's like absolutely required, and I feel like I'm lagging behind with that. But taking annotations, for me, it kind of pulls me out of the actual text itself. So I've tried to been cut back on that and immerse myself instead of putting down information into consuming the information. But that definitely has consequences with the afterlying stuff like tests. I can't come back and look at it. I feel like I need to step up.
Have you thought, especially with this text, I know Jose's been using audio and been drawing at the same time, and he's finding that to be like radically like helpful for him.
Where
Have
can
you?
I find audio for this?
So he's been borrowing my phone, and like that's always an option. In fact, I lost my phone for a while. I forgot that I lent it to him. But then there's also Overdrive.com. Which is a free library app that you can download. But I'm thinking that if you don't like annotations or they find they are distracting to you, because I kind of feel the same way, which is last year why I didn't require annotations as much. Like I felt like if there was other ways that you guys would be able to capture that information. But I actually think that this new sketch notes technique is pretty cool, especially for people who are doing well in science and like the diagramming and like the visual elements of science, like the water cycle. If you're someone who draws the water cycle out on any of our science assessments, you're someone who's in like sketch notes because it picks up on a different part of your brain.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy the sketching part more because it kind of like, it visualizes it more than just rows of notes.
Yeah. And then the other thing I would add to that is color, because color will help actually with your memorization. So a lot of audiobooks are expensive, but you can also sometimes find them on YouTube too. Okay, just for future reference.
Yeah.
So yeah, your English section is a little lacking, and I don't see anything on Fahrenheit 451. Do you have that?
I have, so my Fahrenheit 451, I have discussion notes, but I did happen to lag behind on that, and that's definitely a big hole, but I'm pretty sure I included a link to my annotations, because instead of putting annotations on my actual blog, I went to a Google Doc. I can probably try and open that right now.
What I'm actually looking for is your claim evidence reasoning for each day. Did you do that?
Oh, no.
So, with that being said, with your English, you're saying 2?
Yeah.
2. What letter grade would that translate for you?
Like C plus or C.
Okay. Yeah. I would have to agree with C for the digital notebook portion. What about the science on that portion?
In digital notebook?
Yeah.
I have been taking pretty consistent notes on the science section because it's a lot easier for me, because with science there's just rows and rows and rows and rows of information getting thrown at you, so you have to...
Too much information?
No, actually just the perfect amount. And this weird thing happened with my, I think on my water cycle, I tried to include 2 of the graphs and they just disappeared.
Okay.
I think
Where are
I
your
might...
resources if you're having trouble with the technology thing?
Okay.
Do you know in the classroom?
In the classroom?
Yeah, where are your tech resources?
Oh, no.
Abby and Tucker.
Derek. Oh, I was
Derek,
gonna say
yeah.
Derek, yeah.
Yeah. But like go to those people because that's who I go to. Quite frankly. I hate bloggers.
Yeah, I was kind of skeptical when we started it, but it's useful.
I would like to see a little bit more visual aids, but other than that, yeah, I feel like your science portion is a little bit stronger. So overall, with your digital notebook grade, I'm thinking like between the English and the science, a C+. Does that seem about fair? Your research paper.
Yes.
What do you think you got on that?
I felt like I got pretty good with it. I think I would go with A minus or B plus.
Yeah, I
Somewhere
agree.
in there.
I was really impressed. I was impressed the first time I read it.
Yeah, I was impressed when I just reread it over. I kind of like I got rid of all the guidelines and the template, and I was like, wow, we actually wrote this much and it's that clean.
Yeah.
The template helps so
The
much.
template does help a lot. It does. Well, especially if you follow the template. That's the ticket.
A lot of people didn't.
And yeah, that's true. So a C plus for your digital notebook and A minus for your research paper, I think is a really fair assessment of where you're at for this 6 weeks. So what would that translate into for your English grade then?
I would say average probably around like B or B minus. B would be, I think B would be stronger, just flat B.
Yeah. I'll agree. I'll go with the B. Your paper is great. I want to see more on your digital notebook. I think that you're going to step it up. I'm going to look for that in the next 6 weeks. I want to see your digital notebook kind of not slacking, especially as we go into To Kill a Mockingbird. And then we can try to get that audio version for you to Kill a Mockingbird and see if that enhances your annotations and your sketch notes too. Okay, just remind me. Okay. Science. Where do you think your grade's at with science?
I would say probably, I would say B minus. Because when we're doing stuff in class, like usually it's notes, but the only problem I found was the water pH levels. I had absolutely no idea how to do the charts, and I went around and asked people, and they had the same problem. So I ended up just throwing up the pH itself chart, and only 3 of them. Whereas later I found that we needed more, and totally just.
No, you did the chart actually correct.
Really?
Yeah. So the chart is, you should have had 3 different charts. This chart is, like, you wouldn't be able to document all those 3 different things on one chart because what was your 2 variables? pH and water samples.
Oh.
Right? So if you look at your thing,
samples.
right? So these are your variables. This variable, your x variable, and your y variable. Okay. So now if we're looking at like, what were some of the other ones? Pesticides.
Yeah.
Where would that be on the chart?
Left side.
No, there's no pesticides. You can't have another variable.
Oh, you're
You have
saying
to-
with pH in it?
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
to.
you have to make a whole nother chart.
Does that make sense? Okay. Did you watch Isaac's flip classroom video?
Yes.
Okay, maybe watch that again, and then go back to at the bottom, and if you're still having questions, but I think you did this one beautifully. Okay. Just knowing that would actually be 3 different charts, and that's one of the things I was trying to test your guys' knowledge on.
Yeah, that
Like,
totally got me.
well, you did it. I mean, you left out the other 2 charts. Okay, so you're saying B minus.
Yeah.
Is that a yes or a no?
How did you do on the assessments?
I definitely flunked the assessment. I feel as though on the first part of the most recent assessment, though, there were only a couple vocabulary I did miss out on, but I used the rest. Like I used the whole thing, and I think I went a little too far with my work because I had a whole list of stuff, and then each different animal had a full explanation on what it was. And I felt like the grade was a little unfair.
Oh, well then you need to talk to me about that. Okay.
I was
Did you
hoping to
put a
talk to you
boar
about it.
in there, or did you put like some
Yeah,
wild animal
I
that does
thought,
not belong?
Yeah, I thought you were doing stuff that was in your surrounding environment, and then you had to sub in something that would include the extra vocabulary.
So the challenge with that test or that assessment was if you're right here, because really an ecosystem could be a square inch on your skin, right? There is so much bacteria and like thriving off of the skin. So I wanted you guys to be challenged because it's super easy to come up with a food web that's big, broad, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted you guys to actually sit, be present, think about what food web is going on right here in your natural surroundings, and that was the challenge. And so I was a little strict on if you guys started throwing in wolves or grizzly bears. I'm like, no, not gonna. And there's no wolves in Kaiser Park. Like, that's crazy talk, because that's the easy route, right? So, but if you can show me, like, you know what that means, and this little, you will change that grade, not a problem. That's not a big deal.
I
Okay.
do feel like I did good with the water side.
Yeah, I know, because you're giving yourself a B minus. I'm kind of on the edge of a B minus. I like your evidence. It's talking your grade down, honestly. So I'm. Is that awful? Like, you're bringing some really good evidence of why you don't deserve a B.
Yeah, I have a problem with that, but
But you have 6 more weeks to pull it off. So you're okay with the B minus this time? Okay, let's do it. B minus. Done.
awesome.
Okay, thank you. Will you put your name on that?
Yes, I have it right here.
Okay, cool.
And then you'll just take this, or should I leave it here?
Leave it there. I'll take it.
Thank
Have
you.